How's it going today? Today we're going to talk about Tesla in the quarter, up over 20%. The stock is anyway, and I'm going to give you my opinion. Is it a buy? Is it a hold? Is it a sell? Well, it depends how you look at it. But anyway, let's jump right into the numbers. I mean, they had some revenue of 6.3 billion, had some earnings around. Excuse me, had 143 billion. Make sure you subscribe and like the video and everywhere. But anyway, now it has a market cap of 53 billion. So essentially, do I like the company still? No. To be short answer, no. I've seen a lot of things, and let me tell you, through my experience, what happened here. The company was bashed so badly that people were shorting it and shorting it and shorting it. And then when it put up a better than expected, which expectations was, there was no expectations. I mean, legitimately, it could have just said, "Hey, we're still a company," and the stock probably would have went up because the company was so bashed into the ground and basically buried. You know what I mean? But it wasn't dead. But anyway, that's just how it is in the stock market. So don't be an investor that's chasing the stock price. If you're out there trying to buy it now, I believe you're going to get probably hit a little bit. There's going to be some profit taken there. It's not going to go up that much more. I've seen some people go crazy, and now they think the Tesla's going to go to a $600 stock, and that's like, come on. You know what I mean? If you believe, you have to ask yourself, if you believe Tesla will be a $600 stock, you're saying that the company is going to be worth over 106 billion from where this is today. So essentially, that's what you're saying. That the company is, and you have to understand, Ford is a $34 billion company, and GM is a $50 billion company. So you're saying Tesla, as a company, is bigger than GM and Ford combined. And I'm thinking, and you just put it in perspective. GM has, you might say, GM is a horrible company, but the revenue of GM is 147 billion. While Tesla has, 22 billion or 26 billion? I forget exactly it's in the 20s, and Ford has 160 billion. So, I mean, you're saying that Tesla, combine both of them numbers, you're sitting well up where the 300 billion, combined. So, and the earnings for them are large. So it's like, you think 600 by 2 years? I'm like, I don't know about that. That is one hell of a company. That'd be one hell of a valuation. That would be one hell of a valuation for some of these things. And that's going to put up some massive growth. That's almost growing to justify that valuation. It'd be almost have to grow up 20, 30% maybe 30, 40% for a car company. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, but that's not going to, in my opinion, it's not going to happen with Tesla. So $600 price target, that's almost insane. And if it does get there, I would be selling it because, that's saying, even Amazon, being how massive that company is, it's still not that, it's still, it's almost about maybe 1.6 times bigger than Walmart. It's really not that bigger than Walmart. But Amazon has online and AWS, so essentially you can see why Amazon's slightly bigger. You know what I mean? But but anyway, getting back into the numbers, that's the valuation of Tesla. Always look at the market cap. Always compare market caps. Don't look at the stock price. The stock price will blind you and make you just stupid and do dumb things. Always look at the market cap. What you're looking at. So when you're saying it's 100, do you think Tesla's going to go 3,000? That's saying it's going to be, sitting around almost $1 trillion company, bigger than Apple, Microsoft, come on. It's just a car company. But anyway, it might grow that way. It might, but maybe Elon Musk, that's what you're betting on. But anyway, here's the numbers that scare me. And the stock is up 20%. So everybody, and it's funny too, the media is jumping all over. The media is like, oh, we were wrong about Tesla. Tesla's amazing. Tesla's this, Tesla's that. We're all piling into it. And I believe they're just trying to get people to buy it mindlessly, and they just follow the horde. Oh my God, look at it. Greed, greed, greed. And it's just funny how the media, they could honestly motivate people to run off a cliff, and people would be, oh, okay, let's run off a cliff together. Oh, that sounds great. Everybody else is doing it, so might as well me. If you go against it, I won't be hated. I won't be alienated being this, so I'm just gonna run off the cliff too, you know. But anyway, I mean, it's almost funny when the media just switches like that. Everybody's bashing it, and then oh my God, it's positive. It's just funny to sit back and watch it. It's comical for me anyway. But anyway, maybe I'm a lunatic here. But anyway, and here's the thing that kind of scares me about Tesla. Tesla year over year, the numbers year over year, it's a decline. So essentially, last year they had a 6.8 in revenue billion. So essentially that, I mean, that kind of worries me. Year over year decline. And I mean, and even the earnings beat. And I'm going to get into more in the earnings. But anyway, I mean, that's a decline in earnings too. It almost lost half. I mean, it was 311 million. This year, same time of year, same quarter, it's 143 million. So I mean, that's almost a cut in half in earnings. So you're jumping up and down about the earnings beat, which I believe management did some. I mean, it's almost like they don't even know what's going on with the company. I mean, think about it. They were predicting. I've never seen. It was almost the finance person for Tesla. Completely, he meant to make a mistake or completely doesn't know what he's doing. Because he's looking out and going, okay, we're going to have a loss for this quarter. It's going to be kind of rough. We're going to have a loss. Oh, well, no, we didn't. We had a surprise and they were predicting over, $100 million loss? I mean, and then they have $140 million profit out of nowhere. It's like, really? Like, I mean, what's going on? I mean, I've seen them miss up some things. I normally they play it down. They say it's not as good as, it's not as bad as we feared. And then it turns out worse. But I've never seen them bash the stock. And then they turn around. It's like the management don't know what they're doing. And here's the other thing. You have to look. Revenues went down. So in earnings, they beat earnings. So I'm thinking they must have cut somewhere. Because you can't have earnings positive. So it's almost kind of, you know what I mean? So that's just how Tesla is. Because really, you look at that news and it's like, why is the stock up 20%? It doesn't even make sense. So I mean, really now Tesla is bigger than GM. I mean, that don't even make sense. I mean, why? I mean, GM pays a dividend. It has this. And then what you could say, well, GM is not growing. Well, Tesla, the numbers ain't growing here, and I believe, and then I just don't really believe in really the Tesla story. I believe you're just kind of buying it. I would love to leave someone down the comment of why you like it. And other than Elon Musk is great and everybody's an idiot. I mean, don't be like that. Actually give me some numbers on it. Maybe they're expanding in something that I don't know about. I want some numbers behind that too. Be like, oh, they're expanding into this industry. And well, how much is that percentage of the business and how much is that growing? I mean, you have to get into the numbers with these things and you can't just sit back and, well, I like Tesla and it's pretty cool. So I'm going to buy the stock and pump it up. Oh, it's went up. It must have had a good quarter. But really by these numbers, it's not that, unless these numbers are wrong and I'm reading them off the Yahoo Finance is wrong. I mean, everything's fake news and made up. I mean, but what do you go off of then? I would like to see them numbers and maybe leave a comment 100%, especially if you like it. Like, what I mean? But hopefully, I mean, it's just kind of that is how it is. I mean, and by the way, disclosure, I'm not short on Tesla and I don't own the shares. So a lot of people saying, oh, you're shorting it. No, I'm not. I'm not shorting Tesla. I don't short stocks. I can make a whole video why I don't short stocks. It's kind of stupid to short stocks. I don't really bet against it because there's a lot of other things. You have to take a loan to short stocks. So, I mean, I'm not loaning against, and I wouldn't really bet against Elon Musk, and I wouldn't bet against Tesla. I believe Elon Musk, I believe he's very visionary, and he could turn the company around, which I always said. I'm not saying Tesla's going to go bankrupt and they're crumbling and they're just going to explode and there's just going to be a little footnote in history. I'm not saying that or anything in this video. I'm just saying be realistic. Be realistic with these valuations. Be realistic. Don't jump in until you 100% understand it. Don't follow the herds. And that's really what this video is about. I mean, it's just there's some problems with it that I've seen. And the way I look at it, would I sell my S&P 500 fund? Would I sell my stocks in Shopify? Will I sell my stock in Activision? Would I sell my stock in Microsoft, Amazon, Google to buy Tesla? That's what you have to look at, because you can buy both. I mean, it's just as simple to buy Amazon stock as Tesla. It's just one click and you got them. You know what I mean? It's not like you have to pull teeth to buy Amazon stock or Google or Facebook or any of them companies, or really any of the other companies I recommended. I mean, you can buy Tesla or you can buy this, or the S&P. I mean, why or you don't have to worry about it and just buy an S&P fund and mail it in, and there you are. You know what I mean? Or, you're going to put your money at risk. So you always have to look up. I believe maybe it can hit that, but Jesus, I mean, that is one hell of a company if it does. I don't believe it's going to hit there with their cars. I mean, cars is one of these things, because there's no really urgency to switch to cars. I mean, why are people buying? And I mean, cars are kind of almost going a thing of the past with Uber. I mean, it really is. So, I mean, I'm not saying cars are going to fade out, but they're going to change, and I don't really believe, and they have a lot of things. I just don't really 100% believe in Tesla versus the S&P. You know what I mean? Why buy a Tesla when I could buy the S&P or something like that and just make money that way? But anyway, like, subscribe. Please leave a comment if you like the stock and why you like it. Bring some information. Don't just say, "Oh, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about," or this, or bash me for this or that. You're an idiot and all this. I mean, you can say that, but whatever. I don't really care. 100%. If someone is whatever, but maybe I'm missing something, and then some people maybe you guys can convince me if you give me enough information and something that you guys know that I don't. I mean, I'm not 100%. I can always change my opinions. It's not like I dislike Tesla or anything like that. I'm just kind of looking at the numbers and going, yeah, this stock is not doing well. I mean, if it was a $20 billion, let's just say if it was $11 billion company or a $10 billion company or $5 billion company, then I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, why not? You know what I mean? But $50 billion company, because actually I believe Ford is actually a better buy, because actually Ford is under its intrinsic value. So essentially, I mean, that basically what that means is even if they sold every single asset and paid all that they would have money left over. I mean, you're paying. I mean, so essentially, I believe Ford is almost a value play, really, not Tesla. I mean, just as the value numbers and stuff. And I know it missed the quarter, but heck, that doesn't really mess with the book value. And it actually has cash flow. I mean, I know I didn't like it way back, which I don't like car industries, because if we go into a slowdown, they're going to get killed. I mean, in every single recession, Ford lost 60 to 70% of it in every single recession, regardless if it didn't even hit the industry. I mean, it lost 80, 70%. So essentially, Tesla probably the same way, because cars are the first thing that goes. I mean, if nobody has a job, nobody can get a loan, and they ain't going to buy a car. And, they might buy a used car from some on the corner and, drive that, but nobody's going to take a loan for a car, for a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 car. But anyway, that's my opinion. Leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe, like, you know how it is. Anyway, thank you for watching.